Yeah, okay, so I can't even believe that I'm busy telling these stories, because like I said, I was the snob girl that really, frankly, any outie that's ever slapped me, and if at all one existed, he would not have lasted in my life. Intimidation and threats by a guy, to be spoken to, hampe, and to be gwajisad, like threatened. I've never known any such random incursion against my person in a relationship. So I don't even know how I ended up here, where it is that I'm busy talking about some filthy animal from America that is the very beastly thing that my friend married. So Madibuseng, Adibuenka Madibuseng, the random Gangnam style that became Umtagatinyana ngoba, azangwa lalela Grenshap, reason in her own head. She is without excuse. The invisible qualities of God were all over creation. And so too was her conscience. Never mind that she had snob friends, okay? She had friends that had never seen a single slap from a boyfriend. She had friends that were snobs that partied at Taboo. She had friends that, frankly, she ought have used as a barometer on how in the world under heaven I should be in terms of guys in the future. Una hang out to Lidi Nopo. So how in the world she let herself get dragged down that particular mud, and then next thing she was Tina Turner but a better version? I don't know. That grew up in such ecosystems where girls are being slapped and it's okay. They tend to take abuse in their stride, and so they stay in relationships where guys afflict them, put scars on their bodies, and because of how much a lot of times girls will stand up and be like, how could Utepa do that to you, girl? You need to do better. You need to do better. Dump him. Because they know that every so often in a crew of girls where one is being beaten silly by some random ginsery boyfriend, there will always be a girl, if not all of the crew of the girls that are like, get out. Like, boom, right? Lenja lena, ibolile. And now if you've got nothing but snobbish friends that don't know impama, or even a footek, I apologize for using that word. It is a South African terminology. It's just it's not an epithet. I can't say it's an epithet. It is a rebuff word. You're just a snubbing word to tell somebody, get the step and get out of my face. It's to say to a person, get out of my face. But it's like literally bordering on being profanity, if not entirely profanity. And if it is profanity, I apologize, because as a Christian woman, I ain't got no business doing anything of that nature. But I have never in my life been told, like ever, I've been told that by my sister when fighting with me one time, some girl beefing with me in a club, but a boyfriend? Whoa, I'm sorry, it's over. It's like, what? You don't get to talk to me like that. And this guy in the US, the way that he used to talk to me, while he never ever swore, because he was skating on thin ice, he was claiming to be, what do you call this, a Christian. So he was careful with these words. So I can't really say he ever swore at me. But our last conversation together, he had, because I was busy interrogating him and asking him a lot of questions, his whole constitution changed and he became moody towards me. And when I was talking to him, he was responding to me, even though it was not in profanity. Hampe. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's how he was responding to me. I was like, whoa, dude, I'm sorry. If this is your best foot, given that people tend to put their best feet forward in a new relationship, what in the world am I going to be dealing with in 5 months? What am I going to be dealing with in a year? Like, what am I going to be dealing with once I'm married to you? A guy that will speak to me like I'm trash and not even feel some kind of way about the fact that you have just spoken to me like I'm the scum of the earth, so, like bubble gum underneath your feet, a bubble gum underneath your shoes, for crying out loud. Like, yeah, so my ex-boyfriend would have gotten everything he wanted in his witchcraft spells, where it is that he would have gotten me in a relationship that would have been worse than what he was as a man towards me. He never swore at me. He never threw me around like a rag doll against walls. He never told me tech. He never spoke to me. He never yelled at me, raised his voice. He never used profanity against me, expletives, anything of that nature. Nothing. Even when we were fighting, I have never had my boyfriend even use the F word once in a fight. I never. So I don't even know how women in the world take it. Like a guy telling you F off. I don't even know how that's even okay. But that's the thing. Like in 2023, women are embracing the B word so much that they call each other B's, right? You know what I'm saying? B, yeah, no, yeah, B, yeah, B. They call each other the B word like no man's business. And so guys, the misogynistic rap industry has made it like a term of endearment to call a woman by the B word. And so now guys very easily just throw that word in, especially when they're fighting with their girls. And it's okay. B, leave me alone. Don't you see that I'm like, come on, like you enter into an argument and then you call your girlfriend in that argument a B? Yeah, there was a time when there was like some hard knock offensive word. But now in 2023, people are taking it in their stride. So that level of disrespect and misogyny in a relationship is being embraced, especially in the black community. And ladies are just running with it. I apologize for these dingy, dark conditions. I trust in due season they will change because I'm busy doing an edit right now and I really want to get it out of the way so that I can transfer my content over. I'm running a little bit behind with my edits, so yeah, I apologize for the dingy view type thing. Yeah, but whatever, let's go back to the point. Yeah, women taking this in their stride is also then room created in these ecosystems to be talked down to, condescending language all up in your face, with you imagining that we had an argument, it was a fight. It was a fight, and so during that fight, he just, he said certain things that hurt me, but then also leaving or veiling an opportunity for a guy to come back and apologize after he just easily, like, calls you the B word. No, guys, it's not like him saying, why must you always be like this? I'm so sick and tired of your moods. And then him getting out and banging a door. That's a fight you can come back from and try and patch things up. But when he starts calling you, I can't stand that you can be such a B. And on top of that, all the S that you keep on talking all this time, you're just so like effing annoying. I'm sorry, if a guy can talk like that, it's like, yo, like, hey, there is a violence there. That's not something you should come back from, because there is no end to what that guy can say to you. And now, if you are anything like me, where your love language, your primary love language is words of affirmation, words can tear you down. They can decimate you. And if you think you can just write out an expletive or a profane boyfriend that keeps on throwing the F word at you and talking to you like you ain't Jack and recover from that through, I don't know, therapy or some conversation on a couch with a friend, you are naive. It is too much. It's too extreme. Like, you need to know where to draw the line. And umganwam had gotten accustomed to uktugwa and manje, being sworn at in African dialect, guys. It has a different pow to it. It has a much stronger bang. It has a much stronger bang than English swear words. When you are called the S word, okay, like, if you are a black person, you will know what the S word is, but like, it would be the tantamount of a woman that has got a very hard knock sexual proclivity being called that. A very hard, like, yeah, you are about these streets all over the show. Uskatong bora wena S. Yeah, when a guy calls you the S word, when a guy uses the S word, in our language, that's what it means, a woman that has been all over the show, right? But there is the S word for feces. You guys know what that S word is. That's the English word for feces. When it is spoken in our language, it's even more offensive. An M word, it starts with the letter M, and frankly, it's worse than the S word in English. Yeah, it's a lot worse. And when a guy says it's like, I'm sorry, nobody talks to me like that. Like, this is not an argument with a boyfriend. This is an argument with Ike freaking Turner, a prospective, very abusive husband that I ain't got no business rolling around in the general ecosystem of, because I'm gonna get dead one day. I'm gonna get dead real fast. Like, I'm gonna get dead in a minute. And if I don't get out, we having a funeral. Like, yeah. My ex-boyfriend never ever slept with me, and he said no man I've ever been with has, even guys that I dated from the Kasi, which is also brings me to, just because you're in the Kasi doesn't mean you should date Ikenza, because they're not all gangsters. That 21-year-old that I told you guys about was from the Kasi. So Nikisa Rohan, I never used to just get sworn at and told tech or called the S word as a woman because of like being upset with me or whatever, or finding me talking with another guy. Unfortunately, I had a friend that endured such experiences under a man, and nobody knew. Nobody knew, because she understood. Now I've finally been reverted back to proper lighting. So congratulations, hallelujah, thank the Lord for that. Nobody knew. None of us were aware, guys, of 1 minute. None of us were aware how bad the situation got, how deep really the rabbit hole went. Yeah. Until the end. Nobody knew until the end. Nobody knew until shortly after the end. That's what I'm getting at. Like, no one knew. Like, this friend knew. Like, okay, so let me go back to talking about Madi Buseng, right? Madi Buseng dated Labo Raf Nega. And yeah, she dated these rough randos all the way in high school. And she used to tell us the stories of her being with these random guys. I knew in school that she was not with the right guys, and in LSIPs largely, for the better part of the time, she was never anybody's main, right? In that ecosystem. Then we matriculated, we grew up a little bit, and then one day at a girls' get-together, she then gives us good news that all of us were genuinely very proud to hear. All of us were genuinely very happy to happen upon. And this good news went something along the lines of, guys, I met a guy. Hey, 1 minute. She was like, guys, I met a guy. And when she said she met a guy, a lot of us were like, oh, here it comes. It's gonna be like Peter again from high school. Because we were so used to her dating these ghetto randos. And at the time, in and of herself, she wasn't in school. She was still in school. Unabala. I told you it was barely out of high school. And I was working, but the majority of my friends were in school still, varsity. It could have been like maybe second or third year, around there, okay? Type setup thing. So this is not a woman that was in any position at all to pay her own bills, pay her own anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. Her parents, none of us really were struggling. We were all like middle income kids type setup thing. But really, if your parents can gain a reprieve from paying your very expensive higher learning tuition, school fees, goodness gracious, of course they're going to fall in love with whoever is doing that for you. And that's just the unfortunate thing about parents in the black community a lot of times. Before a mother will protect her daughter from a savage or a predator, she will first gauge as to what's in it for her, if at all she protected that savage or that predator. There are mothers who thoroughly neglect the needs of their daughters. They disregard the needs of their daughters insofar as a man has money and he builds a new kitchen for the mom, extends the back rooms, puts in paving where there was once gravel, and lays a lawn. When a guy does that for parents, moms and dads, when a woman is then like, mina ngifuna ukuhamba, I want to get out because here I'm getting beaten up. Sometimes parents are like, no, you need to sit down and think about whether you want to do this. Think about what this guy has done. Next thing he's going to be asking for a refund for my kitchen refurbish. Next thing he's going to be asking for a refund for the lawn that he has lain. And on top of that, you know that I'm busy taking care of your younger brother. And both of you and your dad and I are retired. We are no longer working our 9-to-5 jobs. So really, this guy has really helped us out ever since then. And you know, our pension monies are not that much. Stop being selfish when then you have got the responsibility when you're to take care of abazali bako through a dude, and you are still studying. So you don't have your own 9-to-5, you don't have your own money. That's what's good. You can't supplement your mother's loss of income and your dad's yourself because you're still studying. And your parents at some point had really dedicated a lot of themselves, bending themselves over backwards to send you to school. And maybe you failed like 3 subjects 1 year. And so you set them back like hard knock, and they had to like repay those particular modules. They had to pay for them again. So you disappointed them, all that jazz, and then there rocks up like a little bit of a rabubi, rabubi, like a little Superman with like a funny little tight outfit, holding his crotch much too tight, and he's like, I'm here to rescue the day. And then not only pays your tuition, but also, you know, makes your life comfortable, cushy, your parents' lives comfortable and cushy, and your baby brother is always getting the 200 rand danjafela flying from out of his hands. Yeah, go spoil yourself, boy. Go buy yourself ikota, boy. Go this year. When that's the man in the equation. When the man rocks up and takes care of everybody, the parent will ignore this guy's flaws. And sometimes if he is too old for the daughter, they will also ignore that too. And my friend rocked up at like what do you call this, at this gathering of friends. The 7 of us, we were at this like get together at one of our friends' homes in Kibla Park, and she is like, guys, I met a guy, I met a man, blah blah, trying to sing us at last, yeah, Beyonce, yeah, Etta James. And we were happy for her. Why? Because she had been that side piece, like she had been that girl struggling with love, and she had always dated these rough nigga guys. And when she described this guy, when she described him, all of us were like, finally she's got something that makes sense. Like I never thought that she would ever get a proper relationship, because she was always the girl dating weird in high school, and I didn't have hope for her. But something came along. All of us were happy. We were all bouncing up and down, jovial and excited on the spot. Excited for my girl's thing and my girl's relationship. And as she continued to describe this guy, we came to learn that he took over her fees and was paying them at varsity. You know, so she was finishing her degree thanks to this guy. I mean, she would have finished it anyway through her parents, but they would have had to strive a little bit harder to get that done. She was basically catered to as a university student by a dude that was, he wasn't old, okay? He was maybe slightly older than my would-be boyfriend, because I would later meet the guy or busy gun. That's why I get it. This guy was introduced into my friend's life so young, because I met my ex at 22. The one only busy with death spells right now. I was 22, he was 26, and I hadn't met him. I had not met him when my friend met this guy. I was still dating some other closet homosexual, right? Yeah, that's another story for another day. I dated a guy that was in the closet, like esomizi, like proper out there trying to make babies, nabopalesa. I was still with my closet homosexual. I was still in I believe I was in the learnership at Liberty Life. So I was, trying to find a job in corporate and make it type thing so I can take myself to school. The rest of my girls were still studying Nabo, Evits, Rao, different varsities, whatever. And we were happy for her. We were happy, guys. We were, because why wouldn't we be? This union happened even before some other girl decided to elope with a guy and didn't tell anybody, right? Yeah, it happened even before. We were so young. So I'm thinking we're like 21 at this point. 21. At the latest. 21. Yeah, at the latest, guys. 21, right? So I'm happy. We're happy. She is finally in a very stable establishment. And then she meets this dude, and when she describes him, he is an entrepreneur, right? So he's got his own business that he runs. I don't really want to describe what kind of business he runs. I think this chick has already been exposed just by the details, but nonetheless, he ran his own establishment, but it checked. He ran his own establishment. It checked. And for me, it was like, finally, you're with somebody that wakes up in the morning and goes somewhere and does something, like, that has made something of himself, like, good, girl, like, whoa. Because, yes, like, it man, type thing. My friend, we thought she was finally in something really beautiful, all right? We thought she was in something really beautiful, and we were very grateful for this union that she was in with this human individual. Okay, fine. So we never got to meet the guy in person for some time, ever since she first introduced him to us. The first time that all of us met him was on her graduation. On her graduation party, the graduation party, which would be years later from that date. So we only met him for the first time ever at her graduation party. So she hid him from us. We were in contact. We were in contact the whole time. We were hanging out. We were having lunches as girls. We were having parties. We were going, on dates. We were still together. And yet I met my boyfriend, the one was 5 years, and she met him. She met my boyfriend. She met my best friend's boyfriend. She met everyone, like everybody that was busy dating new guys. She met them, but this dude was always just being spoken about very highly. But we never met him. She never organized a date. And even when we would go out somewhere, like a get together, like a braai or something, and she would be invited, and my boyfriend would be there, every one of our boyfriends would be there, she would not come with him. She would come by herself. And it never dawned as weird, because we thought he was busy. Because remember, he ran a business. And so because he ran a business, we imagined that, like, it was a kind of business that right? If your last customer is still all up in that grill type establishment thing. So we just imagined that he was a very busy man. And so I guess because we can see that you're healthy and you're happy, because she looked happy. And another thing that should have been kind of scary suspect, when a woman changes so much when she dates a new man, that basically she's like his twin now. It could be a sign of danger, or it could be a sign of kindred spirits, birds of a feather flocking together, peas in a pot. You never really know what you're dealing with. She changed her hair, like she got dreadlocks. It's something we never ever thought she would get. Lady type is a relaxy and whatnot. But then again, times were changing and black girls were starting to love their 4C hair. So, that for me was like, you're growing this kind of hair because he's got that kind of hair? Oh, really? Okay, girl. You look nice with them. Congrats. And indeed, they grew well. Her hair was struggling when we were kids in school. Like, nesa holy, relaxed hair. So when she got dreads, they got to a point where they were like on her shoulder and stuff like that. And she looked good. So, I mean, for her, it was like, okay, good. They look good on you. Yeah, like she became his girlfriend. She became his, like, when a guy makes you look like his woman. Yeah, when a guy makes you look like his woman, he meets you and then changes you. He meets you and then takes you on a shopping spree to change how you dress, to change even your hairstyle, to a point where you will start growing out natural hair when you were happy to relax. Girlfriend. Like, yeah. When he met her, he basically just looked at her on some, this is what I'm going to change about you. And then you'll be perfect. You're cute, I like most of what's going on, but I'm going to make you 100% what I want. That should have been an alarm bell on its own. But like I said, some couples meet and then next thing, they both wearing tie-dye. They wear the same sneakers. They both wearing pink hats. They both wearing... what, you get my point? Like, yeah, they both getting the same painting. They both... And it's like apparently cute or whatever. So it's not always harmful when you meet a new guy and all of a sudden you've even changed your hairstyle. They can get you involved in stuff like, a preference for a certain kind of music can also happen when you meet a guy that introduces you to a new kind of music. I met a dude, for instance, back in the day that I used to have a really big crush on. And because I liked him, I ended up just getting very deeply interested in lounge music because he liked lounge music. And still to this day, it's one of my favorite genres of music. So it's not that dude changed me. It's that he introduced me to something that because I liked him so much, I looked into it and I realized that it's actually really cool. So it's not always bad when a guy changes your music preferences. And now all of a sudden you're always listening to reggae music. But like goodness, 180 degree change transformation. Should have seen something was wrong. But it's not always bad. But we never met him. Our friend was our friend on Facebook too. Alright, and no photos of him were uploaded on social media. And for me it was like, girl, okay, this person. Where is this person? No. To meet a boyfriend after 3 years. 3 years. 3 years. I got to meet my boyfriend and become a rechte imedi as well family yonke. Wonke umuntu sangangazini as imedikas banbani. But when I met you, when you told me about your man, I had yet to meet this dude, where his whole family is now basically calling me Iskoni. Girl, where's your man? Okay, boyfriend. Oh, good boyfriend. Guess when we finally met this guy? Graduation party. And at her graduation party, guys, like, she never told us it was coming. And on the graduation, she was like, it's a combination of my graduation party and a lobola ceremony. So it was basically a traditional wedding mixed with a graduation party. All in one. And it happened like so fast, so quickly, without any of us meeting this guy. And so we met him for the first time on that day. I remember my cousin, my best friend in the family that has turned witch on no man's, went with me. And she she had already met some of my friends from high school by then, but not all of them in one sitting. And there were others that she had never met, like the one from Naturina. And she got to meet them all on that day because I always used to go everywhere. She was like, we were attached at the hip. So we used to go to everywhere together. So my cousin was there and I still have the photos of her graduation / wedding. That was just thrown on us all of a sudden, like out of nowhere. Kohabona and Soweto, where they stayed, and my cousin and I also were like, this is nice, but also kind of, I've never ever heard of a graduation mixed with a lobola celebration, but it's nice. I like your friends, they're cool. Yeah, and yeah, guys, yeah, okay, righto. Let's move to the next part and keep telling this story. We finally met this guy, right? All of us in one sitting at the graduation / lobola celebration. right? And when we got to the lobola celebration, my friend tells us that untshitse magadi, you know, I don't know if he surprised her with it too. I don't think so. They might have spoken about it, but you see, the mother, the parents, ne? What is this? This guy, yes, my friend said that. Yes, she did say that. What did she say? She was like, this guy wanted to marry her, right? He fell in love with her, wanted to marry her, and we speak over the phone, and she was like, no, but my parents don't want me to get married before I graduate. So we're going to get married as soon as I graduate. That was the whole agreement. And on her graduation party, that's when, like, it was also lobola. She never had a white wedding. She never had an official wedding day or anything of that nature. It's like this guy just wanted to pin her down. And she was not only on that graduation party day thingamabobby, she was not only lobolad on that day, but also having a graduation party on that day, but she was a few weeks pregnant too. She was a few weeks pregnant. This guy, yazi, when a man knows ukuthi ungu Satan, when a man knows he's a little devil, and when a man knows that all of the women in his past have left because of some violent streak in him, he will tend to want to now bank a woman with pregnancy, like hold her hostage. And this, he was already trying to marry her when she was in varsity studying, and then the parents were like, no, please wait until she's gotten her degree. And then once she got to that place, before anything could be finished and finalized, it's like he had banked the lobola money. He made sure that even on her graduation day, she can't run away. Even after she has graduated, she can't run away. Understand that this is a guy that's running a business in the Kasi. I can't say, I don't want to describe this guy's business, but it's one of those, he wasn't an academic. And I learned with my ex that when your girl is an academic that's studying, while you are, not trying to get with the books, and you also maybe are trying to maybe make your future money using, what do you call this thing? Business. Sometimes there is a lot of insecurity about, the intelligence of the woman or the degreed nature of the woman or whatever. And my ex-boyfriend was not necessarily, intimidated by my intelligence or my acquisition of my dreams, but his dad, who was a very typical old school misogynist, always used to tell him, and he would tell me this, he would report this information to me, that my dad thinks that you're gonna leave me as soon as you get your degree. Because he says that women like you, whenever you finally get to where you need to get in life, you meet stronger men, and then you get out and you leave. So my ex was very badly influenced by his father and some of his boys around him, and it fashioned how it is that he ultimately treated me, even though in and of himself he wasn't intimidated by me. In that regard, he was normal until he was influenced, if you know what I mean. So this guy was likely not similar to my ex, because I will admit that my ex had one up on him. One, my ex was not abusive, was not a wife beater, blah blah, all that jazz, and my ex did not make me feel like I ain't jack. And when I was speaking, as intelligent as I was, he didn't try and jump in my words and whatnot. He was not intimidated by my intelligence. So my ex had one up on him. But this guy, I believe, is the kind of dude that was like my ex's dad, who looks at a woman that is studying at school and knows that as soon as she gets her degree, she's gonna grow fast and meet other men out there, meet other gangsters in these streets that are rolling around doing a thing, and they're gonna pursue her, and they're gonna pursue her hard, and they're gonna be birds of a feather, kinder spirits. In other words, they're gonna speak the same lingo. They both will have been educated, they both will have been graduates from university, and they will be working in the same industry. And so she might find them or him more attractive than him, might feel like she's got more in common with him, and so leave. So I believe this guy just quickly pinned down my friend. Pinned down nobody who's saying fast and furious. Properly with pregnancy, before, just at proper in the run up to her finishing her degree and then getting her degree, graduating and all that jazz. He impregnated her such that on the day when she was doing her when we were celebrating her graduation party, it was also the day when we were celebrating her marriage. Linyalo happening all at the same time, and she then told us, guys, I'm pregnant. Hey, Batung, what are we, 22 a year later? 22-ish, 23, 22, 23. And she's like, I'm pregnant. And it all was just such a flat on some whoa. So she was the first out of all of us to fall pregnant, get married, all that jazz. Well, maybe the second ish. There's another one that also eloped, but that's the ish. Eleonard had everything to do with religion, Bora. So let's just move on from that other one, because as I remember anyone, and that was like very heartbreaking. She did it very clandestinely. It was secretive. Anyone other than just one person, and none of us could understand. Why didn't all of us deserve to be at your wedding? She ran away and got married in a cult. So let's. She's another story for another day. But this was the only one that did not do it cultically, and where everybody was invited. Everybody was there except for not Ola the cult village. She wasn't there at her wedding type thing, because she had buried herself away from all of us. As soon as after matric happened, she made that choice. Anyway, whatever. Cool. Hey, so now here it is that we are all surprised on her wedding that she's pregnant, but very, very happy for her, because the guy that we all were excited finally made an honest, an honest woman out of her, but finally made her not a side piece but a main, and she never mind main, but just respected as the girlfriend, the girl, the woman. He treated her well, and we were happy about that. And he quickly proposed marriage, and for us it was like, she's getting everything we all in the future want. It was something that we all admired. We looked up to it. We loved it. We were happy for her. We aspired unto it. Guys. We all wanted that. We looked at it with gladness, and all of the warning signs, the red alerts, we ignored them. We ignored the red alerts. We ignored everything that we ought to have looked at until they got a divorce. And it was only at the divorce that she then came out. And a divorce thing is around the same time that I got born again. So they were married for a few years. Remember, we were now 23, maybe like a year into my relationship with my ex, right? That my ex-boyfriend, the pregnancy, we organized a baby shower and everything. Oh, we met the guy on the day of the lobola, on the day of the graduation party. And at that stage they were together for like 3 years or something. That was the first time we met him, and when we saw him, he was a handsome guy. He was tall, that's what I'm trying to like. It was literally like a match made in heaven, except it turned out to be a match made in hell. They looked good together. He was like just a perfect little fit, and personality for days. That's the thing about a person that's suffering violently from narcissistic personality disorder, manipulating spiritually and psychologically a woman. He was so fresh. He was so kind. Like, all of us couldn't understand. Why did you take so long to introduce us to this guy? Why didn't you bring him around sooner? Why didn't you? And she was like, hi guys, I'm Betlisky. Babe, these are my friends. This is Karabo. This is this, that, the other. And all of us were like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. We're so glad that you've loved our friend. Oh, your story's so romantic. Hey, deceived little damsels. Anyway, whatever. So this very nice looking bubbly guy, we're taking personality for days, and he didn't also have that gangster edge. You know how she was always with these like gassy dudes, this dude was good peoples. He was so fresh. He was good peoples, you guys. And this particular day I had not met my boyfriend, otherwise I would have gone with him to that establishment. I used to go everywhere with my ex. So on the graduation, I hadn't met my boyfriend yet, right? I would later meet this boyfriend of mine, and then now that we all had our own boyfriends and what have you all over the show, that's what's good. We kept inviting them. I'm having this, I'm having that, I'm having this, I'm having that. Fine, we're not married couples, but like, what couples? Come to the bride. And this friend of mine would either not come, or she would make an excuse, or she would come by herself with her child. I've actually got a photo of my 25th birthday. In all fairness, that 25th birthday party of mine, it was a girls' high tea, so no guys were allowed type thing. No, but why would I have a high tea with my girls and my boyfriend not be there? I think we had already broken up. Yeah, we had already broken up. At that stage, because it wasn't my 25th, sorry. My 25th, I was already had. 26th was like when, I think it would have been my 27th birthday. I was already was I already interested in the things of Jesus? Let me think. Why would my boyfriend not be at my high tea? Yes, he's a guy, but why wouldn't he be there with me on my birthday? That doesn't make sense. We were either broken up or he was coming later or something, because we spent all our time together. But on that day, the nepeta, that particular high tea with like scones and cake and what have you, she was there with their firstborn child. That child Ole that she was pregnant with, and she was all good, like she was growing up now. She was like 2 or 3 or whatever at that stage. She came with her daughter, and at that particular moment, at Kanagwe, they were still together. They were together as a married couple. But I remember there were so many times when she alone would come, and she would come with her daughter, and this guy would not be there, even though our boyfriends were there. And it would be like, but why isn't he there? And she would always make excuses. No, he's busy closing the business. He's that, or busy, he's tied up, blah, blah. So it was always the business. Like, she was always using his business as a reason why he can't be there with us. Yeah, so for us, it was like, it made perfect sense. Like, her excuses made sense because the business was the kind of business that would require a person to kind of be, not there. But like, you know, we tended to sort of kind of hang out and party with each other until like maybe 11, 12 at night. So he could have joined us later after closing the business. I don't know, like, whatever, right? So things were already sort of kind of in the room, squeezed up in a strange thing. And the only time that we ever hung out with this man, literally the only time, there was no other time of this nature. The only time that we ever hung out with him was when we went to go and visit her at her house. She had moved to a new home not far from where it is that we, like my neighborhood in Redipont, and in that house she was like, guys, we're having me and my husband have got a new home, and it's like, you know, we want to do a little bit of a housewarming and a setup thing, so come visit. That was the only time. So we met this guy for the first time on the day of the lobola, right? There was never a white wedding or any other formal official marriage celebration. And then years later we then meet him again at their house, and again, bubbly, very nice guy, nice host, type establishment thing. Nothing of him that you would ever suspect is out of whack. Nothing suspect, nothing strange was oozing off this man. And we thought that it was all good. And I had this digital camera, because y'all know, old school, right? I had this digital camera that I used to take photos of everything. And the photos are all on Facebook right now, right? I would take photos of everything. Everybody, guys, smile. Oh, please take a photo of us. And the dude was in the photos there on some, you know, like gesturing, all the kinds of things that you would do as a good people's in photographs. He was laughing with everybody. He was smiling with everybody. He was happy. My boyfriend was there with us. Okay, we our boyfriends basically were able to be there, so we all took photos, all of us, and it was such a nice hangout. And we kept saying to him, every time we invite you, you don't come. Every time we invite you, you don't come. We're having so much fun. Next time you must just come. He's like, oh, okay, no, guys, next time I'll make a plan. Next time I'll make a plan. And when we left, it was just like, okay, bye, guys. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, like nothing. We did nothing. No whiff, no passive aggression. Like, you know how Ike Turner, whenever Tina was entertaining people, sometimes he would go passive aggressive. Even in the interviews that he would have, that the media would interview both Tina and him. Obviously passive aggressive. Even in the interviews where you could tell, this guy, I'm tumpa, this chick now. This guy in front of people, as in the best. So I can even understand how the parents fell for it. How everybody fell for this thing. And the horror stories would not come out until the divorce was finalized. None of us even knew there was a problem in that union until my friend was like, guys, I have something to tell you. I am getting a divorce. We are separating. No, things aren't working out. He cheated on me. And he cheated on me with some, what is this? With some chick that he does not seem to want to like stop doing that, and so the two of us are just not able to reconcile our matters, our differences, so we are getting a divorce. So I thought that this guy cheated on my friend, and of course we were upset with that, on some how dare you cheat on the friend, but none of us ever imagined abuse. None of us also ever imagined that the affair that he had with the other woman was in order to spite my friend. It would be the details. The devil was in the details. It would be the details that my friend would ultimately give us. Not us. I would say us. But it was after I got born again in the Lord Jesus Christ that I started to call this friend a lot. and hang out with her all the time because I was trying to evangelize everybody. And then she decided to confide in me and told me a lot of nasty details. All right. And when I heard this, I literally could not for the life of me believe that she went through that. But when I was looking back in retrospect, it all just like dawned on me that, but the signs were there. The signs were there. The signs were there. I can understand a woman asking for a divorce against a man who cheats, and a man who cheats because he entered into weakness and allowed himself to enter into an affair with some woman in the office. And then he tries to apologize to the woman, the wife. And then the wife is like, I'm sorry, no, I'm done. Like, I can't because you cheated on me. And then she gets a divorce. I thought it was something like that, where my friend just could not get over the betrayal. But it would not be something that would cause you to imagine a man a monster, a typical man that is out here in these streets unable to keep his manhood in his pants. Yeah, much like with Sam Smith's you and me, we made a vow. Crazy, they call me crazy because you don't think I know what you've done. I mean, that's a man that's cheating on a woman, but he's trying really hard to make sure that she doesn't find out because he still sort of cares about her, but he couldn't exercise self-control over his passions. I thought initially that's what it was, because he appeared to be so doting over her. I imagined that he had fallen into temptation, and my friend and him tried. The way that she communicated initially when she was telling us that she's getting a divorce, it was almost as though she tried to stay, but it just, like, it was too painful, and so she left. And so we never really imagined him a monster ever. Well, of course, like when you cheat on a woman, you're a monster, done. But like there are degrees of monstrosity, of monsterhood. And we thought he was at entry-level monsterhood, like most men are entry-level monsters when they cheat on their women. But when you graduate to like Hannibal Lecter type monster, that's like, but why did you marry him in the first place? That's the kind of stuff that will raise questions like, why did you marry him in the first place if he was Hannibal Lecter type monster? That guy was a psychopath, guys. A serious narcissist on another level that was excruciatingly manipulative. I wouldn't be surprised if he had puppet on a string her with witchcraft. I absolutely would not be surprised at all if he okay, I'm busy doing edits at the same time, guys. You're gonna have to give me mercy here because I really am running behind. Like if I'm looking up there, that's what's going on. I would not be surprised if this guy was puppeteering her on a string with korobela and all manner and kinds of spiritual weapons, to basically keep a woman in a bunch. But from what it is, that ultimately became the reality. Okay, now that I have experienced all this trauma that I have experienced at the hands of men, I have made my own prognosis about what happened in the situation with my friend and why she became what monster she ultimately became, having been as sweet as she once upon a time was. What changed her? And also the fact that around the time when I had newly been saved, she appeared to respond to the gospel. She appeared to respond to healing in Jesus because I got born again. And now remember, she's getting a divorce, right? She's gotten one. At this point, it's already been finalized type thing by the time that I gave my life to Jesus. And the two of us are out of relationships that we were in together at the same time. My ex and I are now broken up. So we are all just trashing these guys at this point, right? Together on the phone on some, yeah, Linda went say this, yeah, Linda went say that, yeah, Linda went say that. So we are comforting each other with our experiences with our ex-boyfriends. Well, with me, it's an ex-boyfriend, her, it's an ex-husband type thing. And she confides in me some pretty hard, not deep things that are not for me to divulge up in this monster space. But the information that she shared helped me reach a conclusion that this guy, from the moment that my friend met him, and I am only coming to these convictions not even back then. All I know is that my friend afflicted me with witchcraft because she hated the prospect of what it is that is the future that I could gain. Because that's what happens with these women that settle with really bad men. Even though the signs were all there in the run-up to, they become embittered at the prospect of watching their girls make better decisions than them, especially if they had all the information in their disposal to choose not to enter into something devastating. My friend was a whole grown woman, and for her to fall pregnant before she is fully done with her degree must have been planned. This guy must have been like, we're gonna get married anyway as soon as you get your degree. Let's just plan for a baby now. What is the point? And so she was already pregnant by the time her thingy came. and he trapped her with that pregnancy. She probably was like, nah, but I mean, we've got all this time, and I'm only like 22. I'm only 21. I'm only 21, 22. We still have all this future together. And he was like, no, but what, do you love me or what? He was manipulative. This guy was manipulative. And it happened with also the other one, right? My best friend, where it is that women that have been swallowing the pill all this time to make sure they don't fall pregnant. Next thing, all of a sudden, a guy they want to leave. They are carrying the baby. And it's like, no, they did not forget to swallow the pill. What happened over there, I forgot what happened over there is that this guy succeeded to convince her to fall pregnant. And how do you succeed to convince somebody to fall pregnant that is convicted that we've got time, relax? And also with my other friend, the best friend, with her, it wasn't even about we've got time. It was about I want to get out of this. My friend, the other friend, the one that was my best friend, she wanted to get out of that relationship. And the next thing she's rocking up on some young pregnant. How are you pregnant? We spoke about these guys. We said we want to leave. We're going to join Jesus. We're going to be in the kingdom of heaven, and we're going to wait on the Lord to bring husbands our way because we're not happy. And I told you about my boyfriend. I left my ex, and I am now a year or two safe out of that relationship. And I'm waiting on Jesus Christ. We said we're going to wait on Jesus. What's with the, come on, stop. This friend of ours had already gotten married. So yeah, not for her. She had to basically fix her marriage, make it work if she's going to honor the Lord. And you know how the Bible says that marriage, remarriage, all that stuff type thing. But with my other friend, it was like both of us were yet to be married. So we had a clean shot at happiness in this regard. And both of them more or less at the same time. Well, no, not both at the same time. The best friend lady, she fell pregnant, and for me it was like, after conversation about chastity and us deciding that we're gonna hold out for Jesus and wait on him to bring us husbands. How do you go fall pregnant with a guy that we literally were talking about leaving these guys? And I had left, and I was encouraging you to successfully now once and for all get out of your rut. And then you rock up pregnant. Anyway, whatever, girl. I guess congratulations. At this point, congratulations. What else can I do other than congratulate the living daylights out of you? All I can do is congratulate the living daylights out of you, because I we're happy for the new human that is about to rock up. Marana, all I could think about in my head was, how in the world did you forget the conversation we had in the vehicle? Can somebody talk some sense into this ecosystem? But I guess it's already over now. Yeah. Similarly too, with this friend of mine, I was busy talking to her about the Lord and how the Lord can help her heal. And that's when she went all bitter on me. She changed, like something switched. It's like the devil entered her. And then she got this bright idea to curse my life so I could either end up like her or never marry. They all just got this weird idea at the same time. At the very same time, all of my friends flooded me with witchcraft. And all of them, literally all of them except for one, right? No, except for two. All of them except for two bewitched me in the area of romance. All of them except for two bewitched me in the area of romance. From high school. I'm talking about my high school friends. All of them except for two bewitched me in the area of romance. And then the other two, because there were 7 of us in total, the other 2 or 1, I don't know, whatever, yeah, they bewitched me in terms of career and prospects. Everything must just fall apart for me. Or 100% okay, because it was jealousy. But 5 of them slapped me silly, or is it 6? I stand corrected what the actual number is there, over the romance. And we were talking about issues of romance, or the ones that slapped me in the area of romance. We used to talk about romance all the time. Most of them were not married, and I was like, guys, we must wait on the Lord. One of them was already a professing Christian, and she was trying to maintain her chastity, but then she ended up capitulating to peer pressure and breaking her virginity with some random fool. The relationship did not end up working, and I remember trying to encourage her over the phone, saying to her, "Hey girl, God forgives, right? The Lord is He's merciful. He's slow to anger, abounding in steadfast love. So you might have made a mistake with that guy, but going forward, let's be chaste and wait for our husbands." And, instead of being like, I'm so glad, Garaba, that you gave your life to Jesus, because I'm encouraged to go back to the Lord now and do better, she got mad. They got mad. And they all just slapped me with witchcraft. All of them. And the one that slapped me with witchcraft that broke her virginity because she capitulated to peer pressure. She didn't fall pregnant. She wasn't, she still had a clean slate. She got out of that, but she was still so bitter, because for her, I think it was one of those, I shouldn't have broken my virginity in the first place. Don't come tell me about God, because I've known him all along first, type thing. And then they all just slapped me, and I was like, what in the world? Literally one swoop. of Ibaraj all at the same time because of bad guys. Because of bad guys. Yeah, that too. Yeah, women becoming these little monsters, eating everybody alive everywhere because bad men made them beastly. Bad guys made them monstrous. And now the ladies can't move, can't deal. Now they be twitching all over the show, like breaking cups and saucers in the room. Next part.